I'm literally just standing here watching my government employees in the course of their duties. I don't know, their egos. Now, if I was impeding business, I was in a restricted area, granted, yes. But if I'm standing over to the side peacefully recording, it doesn't matter how people feel. And I'm not saying, I understand they can feel uncomfortable because not everybody watches the government. Not everybody watches police. But if I'm doing it peaceful from a public area off to the side, I'm not committing a crime. That means I have a right to be here.
What I'm doing is trying to tell you that I've been sitting here.
You go and talk to the people that called you.
I would like a supervisor too.
Right. Bring a supervisor over here because you are out of line. No crime has been committed. You are out of line. And you're going straight on YouTube.
It's not legal grounds to detain someone, nor is it probable cause to arrest them. Yeah. What I'm doing is I haven't committed any crimes. I haven't been suspected of committing any crimes.
Welcome to Mr. Rights, where your rights matter and the truth always stands with you. Every day we uncover how the law works outside the courtroom, where real encounters happen. From ID refusal to unlawful stops, we break it down so you know your power. No hype, just your rights, real cases, and real knowledge. Hit subscribe because knowing is the first step to standing your ground.
How you doing? You buying a ticket?
I'm grateful. How are you?
I'm good. You buying a ticket?
I don't answer questions, ma'am.
All right. You can't stand back here unless you're buying a ticket. So
I can't stand here.
No. This is for people who are buying tickets and taking a loan on the railroad. So.
Do I have an option to buy a ticket?
Are you buying a ticket? If you want to buy a ticket, you can buy a ticket.
Where would I go to do that?
Right here.
Okay.
So are you going to buy a ticket or are you just going to stand here and record?
I'm going to do both. But first, I'm going to stand here and record.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to...
Who are you? Sergeant?
I'm not a sergeant.
So let me speak to your sergeant because your ego's coming up.
Sergeant.
I do because you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to
No, you
run your
don't.
ego on me.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I'm requesting a supervisor.
Are you going to buy a ticket?
I answered that already. I'm requesting a supervisor.
I need you to buy a ticket. I'm not going to make
I don't feel comfortable until your supervisor gets here to buy my ticket, supervisor.
What do you need to speak to my supervisor for?
You made contact with me, ma'am. I'm requesting a supervisor. I don't feel comfortable because I don't feel comfortable talking to you. I answered that already. I don't want to answer the same question over and over.
Either you're going to buy a ticket or you're going to have to leave.
I would like to speak to your supervisor, please. I'm requesting your supervisor. Because you're very rude.
Because I'm very rude.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next thing that was going to happen was the unlawful directives. That was next.
You're
Yes.
not buying anything.
Not right now. Right now I'm taking pictures, which I have a right to do.
All right, no problem. I'm going to get a sergeant.
I don't have a right to take pictures here?
For basic sergeant, can you respond to the ticket office, please?
You didn't even identify yourself, ma'am.
You see who I am. My name is right here.
Your name is right here? That's not a last
My name is
name.
right here.
Your last name is right here?
My name is right here.
Okay, if you say so. Is your name, are you related? Your name is right here too? I could read? How you know I could read? You're assuming that I can read. Where's the professionalism at? Where's the professionalism at? You just assume everybody can read?
This guy is not leaving. He's saying that he needs to buy a ticket. I raised him multiple times. He was requesting to speak to a sergeant.
I'm grateful.
He was just in here recording. The Long Island personnel told him to leave. He came out.
Nobody told me to leave. Nobody told me to leave.
He came out here, so I came out here to make sure he was good. And he's just recording. I told him multiple times that he needs to buy a ticket. If he's not buying a ticket, he's going to have to leave.
I'm standing off to the side, recording the
I understand,
government.
but this building's owned by Long Island Railroad. They have every right to refuse service to you and to tell you to leave the building.
Are you saying that I don't have a right to take pictures here?
You absolutely do.
Okay, as long as I'm not impeding business,
No,
right?
you understand what I'm saying, but they have the right to tell you to
Are
leave.
you? I requested to speak to a sergeant.
Yeah, no problem.
Sergeant.
Sergeant's right
Okay.
here. We're going to take care of that. Absolutely.
Hey, how are you? So I'm just peacefully standing off to the side, recording the government workers. I was thinking about buying a ticket, but before I bought the ticket, I'm not sure if I'm going or not. I wanted to watch these people while they work, see how they treat the customers. Same way I could watch you, I can watch them. As long as I'm not impeding business, I'm not in any restricted areas. I'm standing off to the side, quietly exercising my rights in public. So I understand they may feel uncomfortable, but that doesn't trump my rights. Because if I was praying here and they didn't like my religion, I still have the freedom of religion. You understand? So I'm exercising freedom of the press peacefully in a public area. I'm not impeding business. I'm not gathering anybody's private information. I'm literally just standing here watching my government employees in the course of their duties. I don't know, their egos.
Employee came and she said she didn't feel comfortable with him standing here just recording. She said he was standing here for a while.
Why didn't you educate her that she was a government employee and I have the First Amendment right to record? Why didn't you educate her that?
Fortunately, that's what it is.
And that's why I requested your supervisor. Now, if I was impeding business, I was in a restricted area, granted, yes. But if I'm standing over to the side peacefully recording, it doesn't matter how people feel. And I'm not saying, you know, I understand they can feel uncomfortable because not everybody watches the government. Not everybody watches police. But if I'm doing it peaceful from a public area off to the side, I'm not committing a crime. That means I have a right to be here.
100%.
And they're very rude. These two, I asked them their name and badge number. Right here. This one assumes that I could read. You know, where's the professionalism at? What if I couldn't read? What if I was blind? That right here, your name is not right here, ma'am.
All right, have a nice day.
Look at the ego. You still can't let go of it. Be professional, be polite, especially on camera.
Anything else?
Appreciate you, Shaz. No, thank you.
Have a good one.
Somebody that's educated. This lady knows. Excuse me? Excuse me? I need help now.
Huh?
I need help now.
You need help? Where you headed?
I'm just want to know what's the standard. Do you guys do peak and off peak too, like Metro North?
Yeah, Monday to Friday. On the weekends, everything's off peak.
Okay, that's good. What's the standard price for a ticket? And are kids free?
No, kids, well, it depends. If they're traveling by themselves between the ages of 11 and 5, they pay child fare. If they're traveling family.
$1? Because I only take the Metro North, so I'm very familiar with the Metro North. I know if I was on the train with my kids, I'd pay $1 for each of them. 11 and 12?
Between the ages of 5 and 11, they'll pay $1.
Okay, and 12 and up?
And then 12 and up pay regular price.
Is that only for LIRR? Or is,
Well, that's all. That's only for the LIR. I don't know how the other guys sell it.
so what's this? I guess the price depends on how far you're traveling?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, man. You guys don't have a map, right?
Huh?
You don't have a map, do you?
No, we don't have maps. But if you go down to the 123 subway line, they give out maps.
Oh, that's for the MTA though, not the LIRR.
It's double-sided, so one side will be Long Island Railroad, the other side is the subway.
I didn't know that. All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And that's why you request a sergeant, because the underlings was running on ego. The underlings were running on ego, and the sergeant came and educated. They should already know who I am. I'm not wearing my good guy activism sweater today, so they might not know. But it's a different shift. It's like the morning shift, so we run into different people. That's why it's always, it's always worth to pay a revisit, to pass on the education if they didn't send an internal memo or anything like that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, love you all. Subscribe to the Activist Avenue.
At the Long Island Railroad Station in New York, which serves over 300,000 passengers daily, a citizen simply standing and filming was questioned, pressured, and nearly forced to leave just because he hadn't purchased a ticket. He wasn't disruptive, didn't break any laws, yet was still told to vacate a public area. The lesson is clear. In public spaces, you have the right to record. If confronted, stay calm, keep the camera rolling, and ask for the specific law being enforced. Now let's move on to the second video, where a deputy sheriff lost his temper after being educated about the law.
Out of me, this is my better side, okay?
All right, welcome to YouTube. Welcome to Pirates or Us.
My mom loves to see me on Facebook, all right? So we're here because apparently, I'm sorry. I got excited again. All right, we're here because apparently you're doing inappropriate things and saying inappropriate things, and people are calling on you.
Well, that's a lie, and I'm going to vouch for that.
Sir, stop.
Singing?
No, I'm not going to
I'm
stop.
talking to him.
I'm talking to you.
You're interfering with my investigation with him.
I don't
And if
care
you
about your
continue to
investigation.
interfere with
He's my
investigation,
friend.
Then you're going to be arrested for obstruction. All right? So I would prefer you to let me finish my investigation. Okay? Without interruption. Sir, can I have you step over here?
No, absolutely not. I'm his attorney, and I'm advising him not to speak to you. Claim your Fifth Amendment right. Fifth Amendment right now. Fifth Amendment, don't speak to.
The last warning. You're interfering with my investigation. If you continue, then I'm going to have to remove you. Yes, sir.
No, I don't think you can do that.
I'm trying to, but you won't stop talking.
Please let me speak.
Go ahead.
Ma'am, I sat here and I sung some music. That's what I did.
Okay. Well, why are people calling us on you then?
I
Telling us
don't
that you're
know,
being
ma'am.
inappropriate.
Inappropriate?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, but what are they saying?
Fifth Amendment. Fifth Amendment.
Are you interrupting me again? Are you interrupting my investigation again?
As his attorney,
You're not an attorney.
I am.
Show me your law degree.
Ma'am,
What college you graduated from?
It's called the U.S. Constitution,
Ma'am,
and we all have it.
Be careful.
I do have an
They can do
attorney.
illegal
Listen.
things and throw you in jail.
I do have an attorney.
Listen.
And listen to my story.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
sitting here in hiding because my attorney, Richard Manzo, law office in Titusville, and the Titusville Police Department know I'm right here.
Name and badge
Because I'm
number,
getting
sir.
Death threats on TikTok.
Okay.
I got screenshots. Can I go get the card of the
The
investigator?
reason why I'm here is because people.
But false accusations got nothing to do
so
with what I'm
people-
doing.
So people here called us to
And
come
people don't lie.
to come speak to you
About
because
what?
they feel I'll explain it to you again. I've said 3 times already, but I don't have.
Yeah,
any,
but that's not the
I
truth.
don't have any crayons or puppets to explain it any simpler to you. All right. The fact that you're
said
doing something
inappropriate.
over here, I don't know what you're doing.
But she can't tell you what
But
it is.
listen,
Yes.
can I
That's
finish
right,
talking?
because there's no
Are you
law
guys
being
interrupting
broken
me?
here.
What I'm being told
This
is that
harassment.
people.
It
said
is a total
that you're
harassment.
Being loud, and that.
Ma'am, you
you're
need
being-
to de-escalate. Take the
You can
Fifth
have-
Amendment. Say nothing more. As you say no
Ma'am,
more words.
All I'm
Don't-
doing is trying to tell you that I've been sitting here.
You go and talk. You go and talk to the people that called you.
I would like a supervisor too.
Right. Bring a supervisor over here because you are out of line. No crime has been committed. You are out of line, and you're going straight on YouTube.
They're talking and trying to justify hurting you.
Right. You're not going to hurt this man. Not with me standing here.
I'm just trying to explain myself.
What it is people are calling in saying you're serving the peace, not being too loud. All they want you to do is just quiet it down.
Okay, I'll quiet
Well, I'm a witness to
Don't
say he hadn't
interrupt
done
him.
that.
Don't interrupt him. You're gonna go to jail.
That's
You can do that? Okay.
I won't sing
That's all
one
it
more
is.
song.
Okay.
That's the problem.
De-escalate, ma'am.
So if you're going to your people, which I'm not saying you are, don't sing for them, okay?
I was just saying.
Keep yourself and keep you guys, okay?
Yes.
Do that for me.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay.
If that's their complaint, I can comply with a complaint.
Perfect.
You know, I'm complaining about the people that complained.
Okay.
Are you going to do some of that now? Go talk to the people
let's
that
not all
complained.
complain.
Me and you are good.
All right, I'm complaining about the people that complained. So you go and harass them. This man has done
I
nothing.
was just saying.
He's
My
done
friend-
nothing wrong.
My friend asked me to sing because I told him I'm an entertainer, I'm a performer, I've been a former drag queen.
Oh, I'm going to get a million
So,
views.
and I
for
can
this one.
appreciate that. I can appreciate that. But what you have to understand too is that this is a public park. This isn't.
That's right, it's public.
This isn't a private residence. It's a public park. So some
Just
people
been
may not
kids
like
here and
that.
they're trying to play, okay?
But I did nothing derogatory.
Right. But if we get the call, then we have to at least get you to quiet it down. You know?
And you got my word that's okay. Period. Because I'm not here to disrespect y'all. I'm not here to disrespect
It's
them.
gonna be the same with
I'm
y'all.
in
Was he
hiding
in,
because
was he
of
hurting
death
anybody
threats.
when you walked
I
up?
appreciate that.
Easy. Can
No, because I don't like what's going down here. I don't,
These guys are
man.
really here for me though, and I love you, brother. But I want to solve this with these guys, and then let that die off so they can go do what they really need to do. Because, I mean, what's fair is what's fair.
What's your name?
David Fowler.
David
I'm
Fowler.
the drag queen pastor.
Okay.
And then I've been doing that
And
a
he's
long
very
time,
famous.
I get a lot
He
of
is.
hate, and I'm really here.
All right. So David, you know why we're
Because
here? We're all good. You're gonna keep
We're
it
all
quiet, right?
good, man. They will not hear me sing one more song.
All right. Listen to your actual lawyer next time, not some street lawyer, okay?
Yeah.
All right, bub.
Well,
Y'all
you've
have a
already
good
met.
day.
You already met his real lawyer.
Thank you for what you do. Though.
Hey, welcome to Pirates or Us. Hey, look at my. Hey, look out here. Pirates or Us. That's me. All right. Walk of shame. Walk of shame. You got no jurisdiction here.
At midday at the Ventura Juvenile Court in California, a courthouse that handles thousands of juvenile cases each year, a citizen exercising his right to film in a public area was asked to show a permit. When he cited the First Amendment, a deputy sheriff lost his temper and arrogantly asked, "Who gave you the right to educate me?" The incident clearly exposed a legal knowledge gap within law enforcement. The lesson is simple: know the law, ask for the specific statute, and always keep the camera rolling. Now, let's move on to video 3, where ego is defeated by legal knowledge.
There we have it. City of Santa Maria, City Ranger, Service, Safety, and Law Enforcement. They forgot to mention harassment of homeless people. Good.
Awesome. What you doing out here?
Ah, just filming.
Cool. Anything good yet?
Ah.
No. Hopefully one day you will, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well.
Yeah.
We're out here. We got calls about you filming ranger units going in and out of the Fifth Street station.
Actually, I haven't gotten any going in and out yet. That's kind of what I was waiting for.
Waiting for?
Yeah.
Shoot, well, you picked the wrong time to come here. We're not even here.
What, are they a 24-hour operation, or they're not?
We are.
Oh, okay.
24 hours.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So,
Well, I guess that's why there's so many Ranger vehicles parked back there.
they're all on training.
Oh, cool.
So we're taking their jobs for them right now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So is it the city rangers? They do all the parks and.
They have access to the whole city.
Really?
They can enforce laws just like police officers can.
Oh, okay.
So we are out here to make sure that you are not doing any recognizance missions or trying to stalk them like your history has shown. Pismo Beach Police Department officers.
No, just you know.
So with your history and everything like that, we're gonna make sure that you don't have any weapons or anything on you, pat you down, okay?
No, I don't consent to searches.
We have every right to do that.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
You don't have probable cause.
I do.
No.
With your history, we do, Mr.
We need
so
it.
Don't pull away. Do not pull away. You could keep filming, but you're gonna put this camera down.
No, I want to document this.
Okay, well, that's fine. We'll put it on the ground.
the one
But we
on
have
your head,
every
right?
right
So is it
to.
on?
Yes,
we have
it is.
every right to search you.
We're just gonna pat you down.
I don't
for
consent
weapons.
to searches.
That's fine. We have every right to search you for weapons.
What probable cause do you have?
We don't need probable cause for an arrest. Okay, you're about to get under arrest for 148. So actually, we're gonna pull this backpack off.
We're just gonna pat you down. Make sure you don't have any knives in those nice big cargo pockets.
Okay.
Do you have a knife on you?
Put this hand on top of your head.
That's all we need
I'd
to
like
make
to
sure.
request a supervisor. That's fine.
Okay. Is that all camera equipment in the backpack?
There's some beer bottles and stuff in there.
Oh.
Alright, do not reach into any of your pockets, okay?
Okay. All right. There you go. Now you can release your hands.
Okay.
And record. There you go.
Okay.
All right. So.
Well. Okay. The biggest issue I have, I'm not on probation or parole.
Yeah.
I don't have a warrant for my arrest, and I did not consent to searches.
Yeah.
What I'm doing right now is a constitutionally protected activity. I'm filming from public view.
Yeah.
Which is legal. It's not against the law.
It's not against the law, but when we contact someone, we get a call for service, stuff like that. What we have to do is we make sure by your clothing, it's baggy. Your waistband's tucked in, we can see that, but we don't know what's in your pockets. We don't know if you have knives on you, if you have a gun tucked in your cargo pocket. So therefore, when we're out here talking to you, we have a legal right to at least pat you down for weapons.
What legal right, though?
What legal right? Our officer safety.
But what crimes have I been suspected of committing?
We got a call for service that you might be surveilling.
Okay.
Who knows?
But officer, are you familiar with California 148G? California Penal Code 148G.
Go ahead, tell me what 148
that
is.
an individual practicing photography in public, including the filming of public officials in the commission of their duties, government buildings, et cetera, is not legal grounds to detain someone, nor is it probable cause to arrest them.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is I haven't committed any crimes. I haven't been suspected of committing any crimes.
For weapons only, okay? You have bulky items inside your sat pocket or your cargo pants. I don't know what those could be. For all I know, they could be a bomb. So I have to pat search and make sure you don't have guns, knives, anything like that, okay?
That could harm us or
We have
anyone else.
every right to do that. Because our
No, you don't, but no, you don't.
That's fine.
But our field sergeant is on their way, so you can speak with them if you'd like.
All right, hopefully it's not Sergeant Lara.
No? You don't like him?
No, I mean, he's pretty unprofessional. I had an encounter with him before, but he got corrected and everything was fine.
I don't know who's coming out. We'll find out. So yeah, so with the pat search thing, we got a call for service on you, someone called. So that is reasonable suspicion enough to detain you to find out what you're doing, right? That's why people call 911. They think something might be occurring, a crime, has, or is going to occur. So we come out here, that's reasonable suspicion enough to detain you, technically. And when you're detained, we have a right to pat you down for weapons. So there you go. That's the law right there.
At this point, you are no longer detained, so you're free to go if you
Well, I would like to talk to a supervisor.
I'm just letting you know for your camera,
Okay,
your
I appreciate that.
If you'd like to look up the case law for the pat search for weapons, it's Terry.
No, I've done this many times.
So then you should know that we have
And this is the first time this has ever happened. I've filmed police stations, correctional facilities, military bases, post offices, you name it. And I have never been grabbed, searched against my consent. This is the first time this has ever happened.
We went into your pockets or your backpack or something like that, and it turns into a search.
Okay.
requested a supervisor after I conducted a pat search.
How you doing, Nathaniel?
How you doing, sir?
Mark Stricker.
Nice to meet you.
What are you doing here?
All right.
You know you have a camera on your head, right?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here's the issue that I have. I was taking pictures of the station, you know, and your officer's here, one of which, this one right here, addressed me by name, and he said because of my past criminal history that they had the right to detain me, and he grabbed me and did you know, he said it wasn't a search, but he did a pat down. You know, I did not consent to that. I'm not on probation or parole. I don't have an active warrant for my arrest. And even though he told me I was no longer detained at this point, I requested to speak to the supervisor because I did not appreciate that.
Free to go.
Well, I understand that.
Anymore. The officer did his job, and it's
But I did not consent for him to, you know.
Hold on.
Okay.
Give me a chance.
Okay.
Can I talk?
Mm-hmm.
The officer's job to make sure our community is safe. Somebody's walking around dressed in army gear with a backpack and stuff.
But that's not a crime, though.
He did what he was legally had the right to do. You're no longer detained. You're free to leave. Go ahead and go.
Well, I understand that, but the issue is he grabbed me. He told me I was about to be arrested, and both of them, he tried to take my camera, and then he did a pat down. You know, like I said, I'm not on probation. I'm not on parole. I did not agree to that. I tried to explain California 148G to him, which specifically states in there that an individual practicing photography out in the open, including the filming of public officials, government buildings, is not a legal reason to detain the person, nor is it probable cause to arrest them. And then we went back and forth with that, and at that point I requested a supervisor. So
you're free to go. I'm here.
I understand that, but the whole problem was they grabbed me and they patted me down and they detained me when they didn't. I don't feel they have a lot of reason to do
Are you
that.
asking to file some type of formal complaint?
Yes, sir, I would.
Okay, there is a process for that, and the best way to do that, we don't carry complaint forms on us.
Okay, I understand. I didn't figure you did.
My recommendation is to go to the police department. Probably better to do it during business hours.
Okay.
And since this isn't something that's incredibly pressing for the moment, go to the police department tomorrow during business hours and ask for a formal complaint form, fill it out, and there is a legal complaint process. As you know, the penal code also cites that, right? you know that?
There's a legal complaint.
Yeah, there's a legal complaint process
Okay.
that's outlined in the penal code section.
Okay.
Do you know what that section is?
I'll be honest with you, I don't.
Okay, I don't recall what it is either. But you were pretty quick with the other one. I figured maybe you knew a couple more.
Well, just being what I do, you know, I'm well aware of my rights, and I know these officers right here didn't have a right to grab me, detain me, and pat me down. I'm not on probation or parole.
That's my recommendation, is to do that tomorrow. That's the best way to handle what seems to be a complaint from this type of complaint.
Okay.
And other than that, you're free to leave.
Okay. And it's Strecker?
Strecker.
Badge number 6?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Can I get your name, badge number, sir?
Ewell in 96.
What was that?
Ewell 96.
And yours, sir?
Jackson, 97.
Jackson 97? Okay. So just go to the station during business hours and...
Have a good day.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you for watching today's video. We've just witnessed 3 seemingly simple situations that in reality reveal serious gaps in legal understanding among some law enforcement officers. At the Long Island Railroad Station, which serves over 300,000 passengers daily, a citizen was asked to leave simply for filming without buying a ticket. There is no law prohibiting that. At the Ventura Juvenile Court during business hours, a deputy sheriff lost his temper when reminded of the First Amendment right to film in public. And in a public park in Titusville, Florida, a familiar community space, a street performer was threatened with arrest for merely singing because someone felt uncomfortable. What do all 3 cases have in common? Citizens who knew their rights faced suspicion, pressure, and even threats simply because they stood firm in exercising their civil liberties. But that's also the strongest message of all. Arm yourself with legal knowledge. When confronted, calmly ask for the specific law being enforced. Internal policies don't carry the weight of the Constitution, and personal feelings can never override your lawful freedom. Record, stay calm, ask the right questions. And most importantly, don't let someone else's ignorance limit your rights. See you in the next video from Mr. Right, where truth and the law always stand with the people.